Today we are at the New Market Cars and Coffee at Adventure Park USA in Monrovia, Maryland, looking at the Bentley Continental GT V8. This car costs $266,980 with well over $55,000 in options. Of course, this is a very high-end car, so let's see if it's worth that price point. Let's get into the front of this vehicle. Of course, you have this very large grille for all the coolant the engine's gonna need. This is black due to the Continental black line specification, which is gonna cost you about $4,375. Of course, you have the very large circular Bentley headlights with the crystal glass inspiration. And if you've seen any Bentley dating from about 2003 and forward, you're gonna be very familiar with the front of this vehicle. They've really stayed to their style. Let's move on to the side of the Bentley, and the first thing you're going to notice is just how large these wheels are. These are the 22-inch open spoke wheels that are part of the Mulliner driver specification package with these black wheels, and that is going to cost you a staggering $17,950. They are not a part of the aforementioned black line specification. That will add this piano black body line across the bottom, as well as the black trim along the side of the vehicle and on the door handle. And of course, another thing you'll notice with these wheels is the variation in the brake caliper size and the disc size. The front is significantly larger than the back. The last thing that you will notice on the side of this vehicle is the V8 badging to let people know you are in the V8 version of this car and not the one with the 12-cylinder engine. Moving along to the back of the vehicle, of course you do have that crystal glass pattern in the taillights like they had in the headlights. And you also have more of the black lines along the vehicle from the aforementioned black line package. And these are the dual tip exhaust, but they are fake tips. The real exhaust pipes do not connect to them, but it is actually dual tip if you look underneath the vehicle. Of course, to open the trunk, you press the Bentley logo, which if you have a keen eye, you'll notice throughout the video. It's everywhere in this vehicle. And this will automatically open the trunk. This is actually a very spacious trunk. You have tie downs for grocery as well as a 12-volt outlet. Of course, you can drop the center of the rear seat in order to access and maybe move stuff through there if you need to store anything longer. This does have an automatic shut-in feature. All you have to do is press this button up here and the trunk will close on its own. Of course, we mentioned earlier, this vehicle does have a V8, so let's look under the hood of this vehicle. Of course, when you look under, you can see just how tightly compact everything is. This V8 is really crammed in there. This does have the removable cover, which has the V8 badging on the front, as well as someone's signature on the back. I'm going to assume this is who helped make the vehicle. Of course, this engine produces 542 horsepower with about 568 pound-feet of torque. Getting into the Bentley, we will first look at the key fob. Of course, you have the large Bentley logo on it. Very nice, large key fob. Getting into the vehicle, you will notice it is a low-to-the-ground vehicle, as most sporty vehicles are. This is a very nice driver's area. Everything is in reach. You have your center gauge over here, as well as a very nice large digital display. This is a very nice vehicle, and you'll notice this color on, they call it the hide, is cricket ball. Of course, it is just a maroon color if you don't know what a cricket ball looks like. You have the large Bentley logo on the screen, on your steering wheel, and other places in the car. Of course, we will give it a startup now. Of course, you can hear this vehicle's V8 just roar to life. Overall, this is a very stunning interior, and we will get into it in a bit more depth in just a second. Talk about the steering wheel area of this vehicle. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, you have the Bentley logo on the steering wheel with the cricket ball color around. This is a very comfortable steering wheel to hold. There is some stitching on the inside, but that doesn't bother me too much. But my favorite thing about this driver's area is this digital display right in front of the driver. Of course, you have your digital speedometer, but the nicest thing is you have your map here. This is very useful because you don't have to avert your eyes to the center console area of the vehicle in order to see the map and where you are going. And this is also a controllable area if you want to change what you see, like your traffic signs, radio, phone stuff. Of course, everything about this area is really nice for the driver. One thing they don't have that you do see on some vehicles now is the heads-up display, but I believe they do not have that just because of how functional this area is. Let's talk about the center screen on the Bentley. The first thing you are going to notice is that there are 3 separate displays, each demonstrating a different thing. You have your drive, your map, and your radio. And of course, these are interchangeable if you want to see something else, like the mood lighting which this vehicle has, which is very cool. I wish it was darker so you could see that lighting better. But this is a very nice screen. It's a snappy system, and this is also where you see your camera. In order to activate that, you can come down here and press the PDC for parking display camera. This will show you the camera around your vehicle as well as an overhead view. Very useful for backing this very expensive car in if you don't want to curb it or hit anything. Of course, moving down on the screen, you see more buttons for control. Of course, one of them you will notice is the screen button. If you have the option, you can rotate or flip this screen to kind of change the view. This vehicle sadly does not have it, but that is a very cool feature available in this car. You also have physical buttons to send you home or to other areas of the vehicle. If you move down, one unique thing this has is it has this analog clock in the middle, showing off the Bentley class and style you expect. Very cool look. It ties in the whole luxurious look, and it really blends in well with this piano black. The whole vehicle just has a very, very good aesthetic. Everything is clean, luxurious, and it's a very nice interior, of course, which is what you would expect from a Bentley. As you continue to move down, you will have more of the piano black, and you will have, of course, the Bentley badging on the shifter. Every gear here in crank is very snappy. Overall, the center console is exactly what you'd expect from Bentley. Everything is well crafted. For the fact that it is handcrafted, this is a masterfully done vehicle. Of course, with how nice the interior of the Bentley is, I do want to take a moment to look at the door panel of the vehicle. Of course, you have this very nice stitching pattern, which you have on all the door handles, the back of the seat as well, in the beluga color. You also have the Bain & Olufsen speaker system, which will cost you $6,835. Another thing you'll notice on this door, as well as throughout the rest of the interior, is the contrast stitching, which will also cost you a staggering $2,600. Overall, this is a very luxurious vehicle, and they definitely prove so with the price points. Of course, this does have the Bentley logo that projects from the bottom of the door. It might be hard to see, so we'll try and put a clearer image up, but this is something you see a lot of luxury car brands messing around with nowadays, and I think it's a very cool and fun feature. Now let's talk about the seats of the Bentley. Of course, you will see that same pattern on the back of the seats that was present on the door. And of course, you do see the really nice contrast here of the cricket ball and the beluga. I don't know who picks these colors, that's what they are called. And you of course have the Bentley badge stitched into the seat. You can control the seat from the side as well as down here. From the side is how you will get into the back, which we will talk about later. And you do also have the seatbelt extenders, which will activate on the opening and closing of the doors. Of course, we mentioned those seatbelt extenders earlier. They will activate upon closing of the door. So if I close the door here, you will see next to me, it'll start to extend out. Now we begin the daunting task of trying to get into the back of the Bentley Continental. This is a very tight fit, so I would not suggest trying to put any full-grown adults in the back of this thing ever. To start, you grab the handle on the back of the seat and pull it forward. Nicely, it will start to automatically move forward for you. You can see, very awkward fit to try and do. Of course, grab the handle again and the seat will start to automatically move back, crushing your legs in the process. Of course, you can see I have no wiggle room for my legs. I can move them up and down, and that's about it. And even worse, this is the adjustment for where I would comfortably sit as a passenger. So you know, if you have an adult in the front, you are not gonna be able to fit one in the back, especially on the driver's side. But you may be able to fit some smaller kids in the back. And nicely enough, this is a rather comfortable seating area, not regarding the leg room. You do have a little armrest as well as a cup holder and some outlets for charging. And a nice thing that is missing on this vehicle is that gap you would find in between the seat and the wall. So if you do have small kids back here, you don't have to worry about them dropping any sort of phones, pens, pencils, or toys down those cracks and them getting lost underneath the seats. Of course, the Bentley Continental GT V8 is exactly what you'd expect it to be. It is large, luxurious, has a lot of power, and costs a lot of money. If you have a family or like to drive anyone around, this is definitely not the vehicle for you. You don't have a lot of cargo space and you cannot fit people in the back comfortably. If you're looking for a vehicle that has all the luxury in the Bentley name, I would suggest the Bentayga if you want to carry people. But if you were just looking to cruise around with maybe a spouse or just a buddy, this is the vehicle for you if you have the money. It is luxurious, handcrafted, stunning to look at, and it can put down on the track. Overall, this is a very fun vehicle to look at, and once again, shout out to the Newmarket Cars and Coffee at Adventure Park USA in Monrovia, Maryland. It is a bi-weekly car meet that is starting to gain more traction. If you live in the area and like looking at cars, come check it out. We'll see you next time.